Before you waste your money and time on buying a golf simulator, you should seriously consider what kind of space you have to work with, so you don't end up like this poor lad. There are different kinds of simulators out there, and some of them need a lot of space to work properly. In this video, we will quickly go over all of the things you should consider so that you have all the information you need to decide on what kind of simulator is best for you. So let's get right into it. If you are new to golf sims, then buckle up because there are a lot of different options out there. But don't worry, because I'm here to break it all down for you. I don't want to waste your time, so I will be focusing on space requirements in this video. But if you want to learn more, check out the other videos on my channel for other topics related to golf sims. Your whole setup will be based on the kind of launch monitor that you end up choosing. This thing is the eyes and brains of the whole operation. You can get one that is 1. Ceiling mounted, 2. Floor mounted by the player, or 3. Floor mounted behind the player. Each one of these setups has its pluses and minuses. Let's go through each one of these one at a time. Number 2. Ceiling mounted. These are an excellent option, especially for commercial users, but most of the options available are quite a bit more expensive than the other options. Some examples of ceiling-mounted monitors are Foresight GC Hawk, which is roughly $20,000, Unicor IXO, which is roughly $8,000, and Unicor QED, which is roughly $6,000. Number 2, floor-mounted on the side of the player. Depending on which monitor you go with, this could be a great option for individuals or for professionals. The SkyTrack monitor is one of the early launch monitors that sits to the side of the player, and for about $1,500 you can get your hands on one of these. The Bushnell Launch Pro goes for roughly $2,000. And finally, the more expensive option in this class is the Foresight GC Quad, which goes for around $16,000. Number 3. Floor mounted behind the player. Compared to the other two, these launch monitors are overall less expensive and more convenient for the average non-commercial user. Unlike the other options, this setup has a lot more options available to choose from as well. These options include the Garmin R10, which goes for around $500, FlightScope Mevo Plus, which goes for around $2,000, the Rapsodo MLM2 Pro, which is about $700, and finally, the more expensive option in this class is the FlightScope Mevo X3 for about $12,000. Now let's talk about how much space you need for each of these setups, while I also briefly touch on their pluses and minuses. Ceiling-mounted monitors are great because they are out of the way, so you don't have to worry about anyone or anything being in the way while you play. The obvious downside is that since these are on the ceiling, you especially need to make sure that your ceiling is tall enough. For these kinds of monitors, you want to make sure that you have a ceiling that is at least 9 or 10 feet high. Another plus to ceiling-mounted monitors is that they are camera-based systems, which means that they don't require a lot of room in front of the player to measure ball flight. If you would like a better explanation of camera-based versus radar-based monitors, check out the How Golf Sims Work video on the channel. In summary, if you would like a ceiling-mounted launch monitor, be sure that your ceiling is at least 9 feet high. In addition to that, just make sure you have enough space in front, to the sides and behind the hitting mat, to be able to comfortably play golf. Floor-mounted monitors to the side of the player are a really good option for both home users and professionals. However, they have a few downsides to consider. These monitors are less expensive, portable, and don't require as much space compared to the other two types of launch monitors. However, they have a big downside. If you plan on having friends play on your sim, you would all have to be either right-handed or left-handed. Otherwise, you will have to keep moving and calibrating the monitor from one side to the other side of the room. The other downside is that these are slightly more expensive than most of the monitors that you can get, which are mounted behind the player. And lastly, And probably most importantly, floor-mounted monitors that are placed behind the player are some of the most convenient and arguably best options for most home users. These are an excellent option because they can be far more affordable, portable, and easy to set up. There are, of course, a couple of downsides to these, as you could expect. The biggest downside is that since most of these monitors are radar-based, it means that you will need enough space ahead of the player to allow the ball to fly far enough, so the monitor will be able to have enough information to work with. What's even worse is that they also require enough space behind the ball as well. So in total, you will end up having to have a pretty large space to be able to play in. On average, these monitors require a total of about 16 feet of space lengthwise. That's about 9 feet for ball flight and about 7 feet from the monitor to hitting mat. Another big advantage that applies to all types of floor-mounted monitors is that they don't necessarily require a ceiling higher than 9 feet for you to be able to play. Most manufacturers recommend a ceiling height of 9 feet, but let me be the first to tell you that you should take that with a grain of salt. Most people in the United States have 8-foot ceilings in the house and garage, and I am one of them. Sure, it's not ideal to play with a low ceiling, but if you are like most of us, you can't easily raise the height of your ceiling, and you aren't about to let that stop you from playing golf at home. If you would like to know a little more about how I play golf with a low ceiling, check out my 8-foot ceiling, no problem video on the channel. That's it from me for now. If this video was helpful to you, I hope you smash the like and subscribe buttons for more content like this. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.